What's good, everybody? It's your man Big Dom coming back at you. Another True Players Podcast, IG Live, episode short. Today on a Saturday morning. It's great to be back with you guys. I just want to let you guys know a few things that's happening. Season 8 of True Players Podcast is going to be postponed for a little bit. I will let you guys know when the announcement happens, when we do our first episode of Season 8. There's not going to be a special anniversary episode. I think we just run the same thing every year, but same theme, but different subject every year. But like I said, we're going to be ready to rock and roll, give or take 1 or 2 weeks. But you will see me on the Instagram live more often. Before we get to that episode, me and Joey G are discussing different topics to talk about, as well as doing the podcast outside of the realm of StreamYard and Restream. We're discussing that, possibly try to get an event space and start doing them there first, and then we'll have people in the audience as well to speak with them as well, to bring them into the podcast and talk to them as well. As we look to diversify the True Players Podcast and also introduce his new podcast at the same time. So stay tuned to that. But however, you still see me on the IG short live, talk about sports and any other events that's going on. As you can see, the Mets started off with a loss this against the Reds. I saw a little bit of the game last night. I'm actually going to be attending the Met game on Sunday live at Citi Field. So anybody's in Citi Field, if you want to meet the host of True Players Podcast, Dom the GM, feel free to meet me. I will be in section 139, always on section 139 at the center field wall. If you want to come meet me, say hello, say how you like the podcast and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I mean, I was shocked that Carlos started Manaya after him pitching on Sunday. So I'm assuming that was basically, he was on regular rest. But the bullpen, which the Mets have to improve upon, if they're going to get to the World Series and win the World Series, they have to improve on that bullpen, because that bullpen blew that game for the Mets. When I was watching the game, they were up 2-1, and it looked like Sean Manaya was really dealing. But I would give him another outing before we start worrying about him. But he pitched when he came back on Sunday in relief of Clay Holmes. He had struck out like 7 guys in a row, but he eventually lost the game because of the BS extra inning nonsense. Or did he lose in the 9th? Yeah, I think he lost in the 9th actually. However, the Mets are in good standing. They're still in first place. Still got the Phillies. The Phillies are a great team. You got to give them props, especially when my man Zach Wheeler doing what he's doing over there, being the ace of that staff. So a lot of big things is happening. But the Mets need to definitely improve the bullpen, get some center field help. Hopefully, I'll try to get Matthew to join us so we can speak about New York Met baseball, said New York Knicks baseball. And we're just 1 month away from training camp. 1 month away from training camp. New York Jets, New York Giants. Can't wait to start having that talk again. You know, this is what the True Players Podcast waits for, is to talk about NFL football. And I have a very, very good feeling about this New York Jet team. I definitely do. I have a very good feeling about them, especially with Aaron Glenn, and a former Jet player who understands New York media, who understands what it takes to win. He's been to playoffs in the New York Jet uniform, and played in the AFC Championship game. So it's something to look forward to, something to root for. You know, so it's not many times you have an African American coach on an NFL squad. You know, we had Todd Bowles, and now we got Aaron Glenn. But you know, the support for them is not the same as if a white coach would be in there. And I'm gonna be telling you straight. That's just being very honest about the situation. But I'm looking for great things. I root for the Jets no matter what color skin the coach is. As long as he knows what he's doing, he has a pulse on the team, he's doing a good job. But, you know, that's all I'm concerned about, with all due respect. But like I said, I can't wait to have the football talk. Can't wait to have the power talk, because I think me and Joey G, we're going to get back to recapping power getting back to doing our power recap episodes. Those will be either Wednesday or Thursday every week. Once Tommy Egan and gets back up and rolling, we're gonna have those episodes for you. And that's pretty much it on what I got to say about this. But stay tuned for the season 8 premiere True Players podcast. Like I said, I'm gonna have to do some podcasts on the travel. So I really want Miss Fairychild to join me on the podcast. The reason I want her to join me is because she's part of the reason why True Players podcast had started. She gave me the avenue through Anchor to start the podcast. So, I just want to have her on the show and represent, give her 2 cents in the situation. Now, another thing I want to speak about, because I think this subject has long been a long conversation needs to be said about the black diaspora. When I mean the black diaspora, I mean the Caribbeans, blacks, the black Americans, and the Africans. We really need to have a conversation, because all these little insults that's been thrown around over a statement needs to stop. Stop being in your feelings and saying that I'm in my feelings. And I'm going to speak about a post that I responded to. I'll be there on Faces of Haiti, where I mentioned that Kenya left Haiti off the countries to get a free visa. And my response to it was showing my pride in my heritage, my bloodline, which is the Haitian bloodline. My father was a proud Haitian man. He didn't rep nothing else but Haiti. My mother was the same way too. All I said was, guys, point blank, rebuild Haiti. We don't need Africa to help us. Even though it was Kenya that said they didn't give us visas. We don't need Africa to help us in our battles. You know what I'm saying? And the level of vitriol I got, it wasn't that much level of vitriol, but the asinine statements talking about I didn't know my geography. They're talking about Kenya. They just only talking about Kenya and this, that, and the other. Why are you making one of the idiots that responded to me said that you can't compare a small country to an entire continent. And by will, my man, I can, because that small country has a great history. Yes, I can. That small country where my parents came from has a great history of freedom and liberation, helping other nations liberate from slavery and rule and European rule. My man. Okay? And you're going to come on my comment, which is not that big of a deal. You took it the wrong way. Probably you were offended because I said Haiti is the pioneer of black freedom. Guess what? That is true. That's facts. That's historical facts. 1804. Haiti is the only country in world history to abolish slavery. It's the only country that led a successful slave revolt in world history. And Haiti's paying for that right now. All the shit that's going on right now in Haiti. However, it's up to the Haitian people to come together. The story, the bond that brought us to get that independence, to get that freedom in 1804. To get back to that level again. And I believe we can. I truly believe we can. But like I said, this is not a slight towards Africa. Africa has in previous times have left Haiti out the diaspora. This is not the first time. It's not the first country that did that. That's what I was saying. I don't know my geography, and then people tell me that I'm African and this, that, and the other. I'm like, first of all, you're not my parent, first of all. And my parent told me that I was Haitian. And that's what I'm going to rock with. That doesn't mean I'm not African. I just got to represent the land that my parents came from. Albeit, because keep in mind one thing about Caribbean people, we're not just Africans, we're also indigenous people. There was indigenous people on those lands before the pirate Christopher Columbus came on those lands. And they were black. They were black too. So we need to stop, this connotation or whatever about blacks when came from Africa. That is true. That is true to a certain extent, because we travel around the world. There was a point that the entire world was one land. If you put all those continents together, you see one land. So for those people who actually insulted me about my lack of geography of Africa, keep in mind one thing: the countries you mentioned, only the countries that have black people in it. If you didn't mention Ethiopia, you didn't mention Egypt, you didn't mention Mozambique, you didn't mention Morocco, you didn't mention Zaire, you didn't mention Congo, you didn't mention none of those other countries. Only the Western African countries that you mentioned. But yet I don't know my geography. I got you. Got you. If you're gonna insult me about my geography of Africa, you better know every single country in that continent before you come on my post and respond to my post. Period. Said nothing wrong. I guess what made them butt hurt was the fact that I actually exude Haitian pride. And yes, and maybe I said Haitian is the pioneer of black freedom, which is not a lie. Tell me otherwise. Find me the proof that says otherwise. You know what I'm saying? There's Haitians right now who a couple of months ago started a movement to rebuild the canal at the Dominican Republic so they can resurrect their rice crop. Haiti can do that. We didn't need no one else to help us. We don't need visas from other countries. Well, we shouldn't need a visa to come to the United States either, because guess what? We helped them get their independence too. Long Haiti was the free, and everybody up in the Western Hemisphere. Go check your history, ladies and gentlemen. That's what us Haitians was doing. That small country. That's what that small country was doing. So before you talk about geography, talking about my knowledge of geography, you need to take a look at the history of my country. A country that when I looked on your page at Jonathan, whatever the fuck you are. You had 2 African countries, and you had France and Canada on your fucking profile. Basically, you worship the colonizers. So let me tell you something, house whatever. I'm not gonna even call you the N-word, house N-word. I'm not gonna go there. So I'm above that. But when you come on my comment on a page, on a post, you tell me to calm down and insult my intelligence of geography, and you got the colonizers flag on your fucking profile, you need to be the one to calm the fuck down. Period. You need to calm down and go in the corner and chill. It's just a comment. A truthful comment at that too. Truthful. Like I said, shout out to Benin. After that whole situation with Kenya, Benin has given a lot of Haitians to get free visas to Benin. Okay, I'll give you a shout out to that. Okay, we'll give you props for that. Representing. You know what I'm saying? But this, like I said, this is a conversation that must be had amongst all the melanated people, because if we don't have this conversation, we're constantly going to be doing the same cycle, the same bullshit cycle of insulting each other when we don't like what the other one says. You know what I'm saying? Doing that same cycle over and over again. And that needs to stop. Seriously, that needs to stop. Provide solutions. Provide solutions. This is the problem with this world, not just with mostly our race. We never come up with a solution. We just try to pick and thumb our nose at everybody else, put our nose in the air that we're from this place and you're not really black, or the colorism, you're not really black, but you got some white in you. Listen, this is the lack of intelligence, this is the ignorance that's going on. You do realize the melanin of the black race is the original race of the world. Every single race after us is derived from us. Why are we constantly doing this colorism bullshit for? It makes no sense. Makes no sense. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned to season 8, episode 1. Me, Joey G. I don't know. Should I name the title "Venting with Joey G" season 8? The Return of Joey G, season 8. I got to think of a good theme and a good topic to talk about, because I'm quite sure it's not gonna be. I'm gonna try to leave sports out of it, but maybe we'll talk about wrestling. So I see there's some issues with. Let's watch another podcast. There was some issues with. Jacob Fatu did a rap song that kept on saying the N-word, and I got a lot to say about that. And so, my brothers and sisters not gonna like what I got to say. My thing, but I'm gonna say one thing, one constant thing. If you don't like someone saying using the word that you don't like, don't use it on each other. It starts from there, and then you could be angry if you don't use it amongst yourselves. Then you could be angry when someone else is using it. Remember, the black race is the original race of the world. Remember that. Stop acting like we're the minority. And start acting as if you're the foundation of all races. That's the most important thought process. Black race is the foundation of races. Okay? We're not from a branch. We're not from the bark of a tree. We are the root of the tree. Remember that. If you don't get my metaphor, then so be it. Have a blessed day.